Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man.
During a campaign stop in Pennsylvania, the former president, Donald Trump, delivered some interesting tidbits, I guess, about Arnold Palmer's—
Is it tidbits?
Junk, which apparently is not tidbitty. It's actually, according to him, on multiple occasions, by the way. Trump has talked about Arnold Palmer's, genitals. Johnson on multiple occasions on the campaign trail. And it's now getting attention, but why? What?
Yeah, I mean, the next time you order Arnold Palmer, you're gonna think about it a little bit differently.
No, I'm not gonna think about it. Don't put that in my head, because that drink is delicious, and I don't want to think about that.
But before we get on to the rest of the substance of the story, did you notice what Trump said there a couple times? You saw it in the video, you can rewind. I love women, but this guy. But this guy.
Okay, so as we give you more details about this, I don't know how to feel about this, right? Because I personally would prefer not having presidential candidates talk about other people's genitalia on the campaign trail. But at the same time, I don't know if this somehow makes him seem more human to people. I don't know. Okay, so just think about that question as we give you more detail. So Trump spoke more than 10 minutes about Palmer, who I believe is a golfing legend, right? Pro golfer, yes.
Yes.
And things started out normal, but then Trump being Trump, he decided to take it in a weird direction. Let's take a look.
And he loved Latrobe. He turned out to be one of the greatest golfers in the world. He started off very, very poor. He had no money, just had a lot of talent and a lot of muscle. He was a strong guy. And I said, when I come here, I'm going to tell him the real story of Arnold. But Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. His man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here, but they used to look at Arnold and say, bad, but he was really something special.
I'm surprised right-wing voters are okay with that, because that was gayer than a pride parade.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the word homoerotic, but I think you nailed it better. But that was remember how they used to have those things in grocery stores, the telenovelas, or not telenovelas, but the little books where there would be women would buy where the guy—
romance novels?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. What am I? Okay, anyways. Okay. It's like a homoerotic romance novel that he was writing there. And then the other golfers went in the shower and he was all man. He was so strong. I mean, they thought they loved women, but this guy.
Okay.
But this guy.
He was a handsome man. He was a very handsome man. I mean, obviously age there, but look, so what's interesting is some of the backlash that Trump is getting, all from the left, of course. So Arnold Palmer's daughter has come out and she's like, oh, my father would have hated this. He would have hated the lack of civility. But look, as his daughter, I could understand why she feels that way. And I wouldn't want to think about that when it comes to my dad. However, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and just say, I think your dad would kind of love it. Okay, you have a major presidential campaign talking about how big his junk is.
And what an amazing, strong man he was.
All the other men in the locker room were like, whoa, look at the size of that. I'm sure he would have loved it. Look, I don't profess to be an expert on much, but I would like to think of myself as a bit of an expert on men. And men love to have their Johnson validated like that. Okay?
So look, I'm gonna get to something real about the campaign here and why I don't think this hurts him at all. It might even help him. But again, there's so much weird homoeroticism here. All the other guys would be looking at his junk in the shower, would they? I usually divert my eyes.
I think guys do. I think, yeah. I mean, I remember doing that story from ESPN years ago about the homoeroticism that usually takes place in men's locker rooms.
Yeah, see,
right?
I know look, everybody's different, and I never showered in the locker room because I was like, why? I have a shower at home. Like, why do we need to shower here? I just don't get it.
Professional athletes, like they call it the clubhouse, right? Like they like to hang out in the locker room in the clubhouse. It's like a bonding thing. So I get it.
No, it's a bonding thing when you're in high school, when you're in college, when you're a professional. We used to hang out on the steps and talk about things, right? And that would be locker room talk. And so that's real and that's bonding. I don't need to bond with your genitals. So, like this is, so like, look, you could be comfortable with it, and if you're more comfortable with it than I am, great, wonderful. And I like that you're more involved about it, but I don't go like this.
Nah, I don't believe you. I think guys totally size each other up in the locker room.
Okay, all right, God bless. Okay, I agree with you that I don't think that Arnold Palmer would mind. And by the way, I mean, the guy lived a life, right?
Yeah.
An amazing golfer that the people are still talking about today, has a drink named after him, and now everybody knows. Okay, yeah. So okay, now to the so-called substance. Guys,
there is no substance.
No, there is a little bit of substance here. And it goes to the first question you asked, Anna, which is, Democrats will look at this and go, aha, he's deranged. No, guys, this is different. So he says wild and crazy stuff, but in two different categories. There's the stuff where he's mean or he's crude like he is here. He talks about topics he shouldn't talk about. And then there's stuff where he's deranged, like where he'll be like, I'm gonna go after my political opponents. I'm gonna terminate the Constitution.
The enemy within.
The enemy from within. Yeah. They're poisoning our bloodlines and stuff like that. You have to separate those two things out. Because a lot of people look at this Arnold Palmer stuff and go, that's harmless, man. Like, yeah, a presidential candidate shouldn't be saying it, but who cares? It's kind of funny, and it makes him look like a real person, looks more like someone I could relate to. Whereas the corporate politicians who are always reading the teleprompter and being super fake, right? I don't like those guys. So this kind of wild talk might actually help him. Whereas the other kind of wild talk we talked about earlier in the show might be costing him votes with older voters who normally would go in his direction, but they're uncomfortable when you say maybe we shouldn't have a constitution if I lose an election. They're uncomfortable with you pretending you won an election when you didn't. So focus on his actual crazy talk, which is dangerous, and do not mix it up with ridiculous talk, which is a different category.
Yes. And it became a big thing over the weekend. Jake Tapper asked House Speaker Mike Johnson about it, and Mike Johnson, was kind of beating around the bush, no pun intended. And
Let
eventually,
alone that he's asking Speaker Johnson.
I know. This story is so much fun. But eventually, Johnson was like, Trump's just having fun, Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to hurt him at all, guys.
Yeah.
So maybe some people who are evangelical Christian who were worried about his abortion stand. But I mean, we're stretching to find 3 voters it matters with,
no
right?
No one cares. He has said this on the campaign trail before. Maggie Haberman in her book noted that he had made similar comments about Arnold Palmer in 2020. Yeah,
so if you're a super well-educated voter and this offends your sensibilities and your reaction was, I do declare, you're not the average voter. I love you and we probably get along okay, but you're not the average voter. The average voter doesn't mind this. And when you say this is terrible, it minimizes their belief in you when you say terminating the Constitution is terrible.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying don't cross streams, okay? Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member. And members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.